Alright, welcome back to SouFLoTV again, everybody. It is your host with the most. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, please, and let's get right into this one. No, hit the subscribe button, for real. Hit the subscribe button. Alright, let's talk. Somebody sent me this article on this nurse, and as soon as I saw the name, Annalisa Duncan, the first thing I thought, is she Jamaican? Now, mind you, I am Jamaican. My platform is somewhat geared towards Jamaican, being a Jamaican, talking about things from the Caribbean diaspora. So, I'm saying, whoever sent this to me must know that she's Jamaican. Anyway, me go do my whole heap of research and I found out that she is either Jamaican or she's closely connected to Jamaica and has been in Jamaica and has roots from Jamaica. Never did an interview with her, but, me see enough in no say. Anyway, the article comes out, the headline says, a nurse manipulated a dying Florida woman into selling her house and signing away her car. And this is what the police says. Annalisa Duncan, 53 years old, was booked Tuesday on felony charges. And I'm looking at her booking image into the Brevard County Sheriff's department facility, and I'm looking at their website, and she is officially on it. I also went and searched on social media and found her family. She has a beautiful family. She has a child, a son, I saw, and the son is very intelligent, and I think she has a daughter as well. But I know the son is very intelligent, and the son was like off to college at 16, in doing college work at 14, graduated at 16 with his associate degrees and all these kind of things. So the family is very well put together. If you follow her social media stuff, you would gather what I gathered. It's a woman that loves her family. She loves church and she loves traveling, being out and about, and she loves nature. She also loves enjoying the finer things in life, like going to an opera or, sitting in one of those events and so on and so forth. That and nothing compared to this. Remember, me telling you, say, work hard for it, or else you're going to have to be looking over your shoulders if you get it some other way. A Palm Bay nurse was booked at the Brevard County Jail on Tuesday, accused of manipulating her terminally ill patient into signing over her car and selling her home at a fraction of its value. This is what the police said. Annalisa Duncan, 53 years old, became the subject of an investigation in early May when the Department of Children and Families made contact with the Palm Bay Police Department concerning an elderly exploitation case, according to an affidavit for Duncan's arrest warrant. Listen to the story now. The 71-year-old woman in Duncan's care was described in the affidavit, the paperwork, as incapacitated. Due to multiple diagnoses, she was diagnosed with multiple things, physical and mental health issues, including cancer of the bladder, spine, and the brain. The woman told investigators that she was diagnosed with a terminal illness at the time that she moved into Serenity Lifestyle Plus 2, which is an assisted living facility in the Palm Bay area in Florida, and Duncan's residence, at least 1 year before the police said that she was taken advantage of. How did she take advantage of her? A doctor who evaluated the woman determined that she lacked the mental capacity to make informed decisions such as those regarding her residence or to manage or make a gift of her property. In other words, This woman wasn't able to sign over no paperwork and do no proper anything to get anything in order, to give anything away to anybody, sell anything at half price. Nothing like that. You should not be in possession of any of her possessions because she wasn't in the right frame of mind. For those of us who work in the medical field, if you've seen somebody who has been incapacitated or inebriated or under certain medications, going through certain illnesses, you would have observed them being lethargic at certain points, sometimes at a point where they can't even remember what day of the week it is. They can't recognize their family members. They don't even remember their own names sometimes and all that, right? So this is what they're saying, is that she took advantage of an individual that was in this type of a mind frame and set, because this individual was diagnosed with multiple illnesses, to include cancer of the brain and the spine and the bladder and mental issues as well. And her being a nurse was able to have this person as a patient and decided, good time to rob her. A doctor evaluated the woman and determined that she lacked the mental capacity to make informed decisions, such as those regarding her residence, or to manage or make any gifts of her property. The woman told investigators that Duncan wanted to make a deal in which they would sell each other their houses. You sell me your house, I sell you mine. I don't know who would go in on that kind of a deal. She must have really been in a haze. She explained that she, Duncan, which is the woman who I'm thinking is Jamaican, would come out ahead because it's cheaper somehow to sell her my house, as the caretaker claimed that she wanted to downsize. So it would come out easier for you, the patient. Because I just want to downsize, so I'm going to sell you my home at a fraction of the price. You sell me your house. My house is bigger, and you take the bigger house, the bigger property and whatever. Duncan convinced the woman to sell her 2,300 square foot home for $175,000. And she got her to sign what she called launch papers to get the ball rolling. Now, despite the price the woman agreed to, the documents would have officiated the sale of the woman's home to Duncan for $50,000. $50,000. Although she told the lady, according to this, that she was going to sell the house for $175,000, that's what the documents were signed for, somehow in there, it was officiated that the sale of the woman's home would actually go to Duncan for $50,000. Now get this. This is what the affidavit states, The police said that the woman purchased the home in 1988 for $55,000. Here is why I tell people to invest in real estate. Because the value, once you upkeep that property, over time, usually appreciates. This woman who she's taken care of, who is terminally ill, you're pretty much looking at, 1 foot in the grave kind of thing. You're about to leave Earth kind of thing. Whether it's right away or months down the road or even a year or two at most. Police said that the woman purchased the home in 1988 for $55,000. In today's market, that same home is valued at $225,000. Yet she told the lady they would sell it for $175,000, but had paperwork that said that it would go to her for $55,000. A $225,000 property you would acquire from your dying patient for $50,000. Wow. Ultimately, the settlement agent did not allow the sale due to Duncan's lack of funds. So in other words, even though she fabricated some paperwork Again, allegedly and according to the affidavit, even though she fabricated some paperwork to acquire the property, the $225,000 property, for $55,000, she still didn't have the monies to put up to get the property, the police said. When police later presented the woman with these same documents, she told the investigators that she did not recall seeing or signing any of these. Me? Sign these? Nah. I never wanted to sell my house. I didn't sign any paperwork. We had a conversation, but I didn't sign any paperwork. Now, this kind of risky, you know. Let me tell you why. You can have somebody who did something, right? Now, on both ends, it's wrong. And on both ends, it could be mixed up. For instance, you as a healthcare provider should know, especially a nurse should know, that when your partner, not your partner, but your patient is incapacitated, you should know when your patient is under the influence of heavy medication. You should know when your patient is going through those hazy days where they can't make out Monday from Friday. You should know when they are off. And this is not the proper time. Furthermore, it's a conflict of interest to be there talking to your patient about selling their house and you want to buy it and all that. I don't think that is permitted either, right? Just like how it's not permitted for you to talk about dating, as in showing interest in a patient or entertaining a patient showing interest in you as a healthcare provider. Your patient can't ask you out to the movies and you guys are going to go out for a romantic evening. And, oh, I think you're so beautiful, or I think you're sexy, or I think you're handsome. It can't happen. It's not supposed to happen. It's the same way you can't make deals, real estate deals, or whatever else deals with a patient. Seeing? So that alone right there was wrong and off. Now, the lady saying she never seen those papers, she might have seen those papers. She might have signed those papers. I've had patients before who did something on Monday and they were going through things. And by the time you got to Friday and you reminded them, they're like, who? What? Nah, not me. And it was them, you know. But again, as a healthcare worker, you should know these things. Ultimately, the settlement agent did not allow the sale that was due to Duncan's lack of funds. She didn't have the money. When police later presented the woman with the papers, the woman said she has never seen those papers and she never signed any of them. Though she didn't end up with the woman's house, police said that Duncan convinced the woman that swapping their cars was a good idea. The woman agreed to let Duncan test drive a Subaru, a new vehicle that she had just purchased, and she purchased it brand new in 2019. It was not a used lot. She purchased it brand spanking new in 2019, which investigators found led to Duncan's enlisting the help of a friend who did some contract work at the assisted living facility to submit a duplicate title request for the car to the Department of Motor Vehicles. In other words, she make our friend help her get some new papers for the car. The man told investigators, because they traced it back to him, and he told investigators there was not a notary present when he brought the documents for Duncan to sign with the woman. So the notary would have to be a notary. We all know what a notary is, right? A notary is somebody who can vouch, and they are, let me see, how should I put it now? They are certified by the government to say, yes, this is you that put your signature on this paper. Sometimes people will tell us that they need your signature on a document. Other times they will tell you, we need your signature on a document verified by a notary. A notary meaning it is official. We're absolutely sure that this is you. And there's a second party there who can put their reputation on the line to back that this is you. A notary signing is a bit more solid than just telling somebody, put your signature on this paper and send it. The woman agreed to let Duncan test drive her Subaru, her 2019 Subaru. She took the Subaru, she got her friend to work up some paperwork, put in a request at the Department of Motor Vehicles for a duplicate title. Title is what you use to say you own the vehicle. On the duplicate title now, she would switch out all the information to her information. The man told investigators that there was no notary there when he came with the paperwork to get it signed by Duncan, including a power of attorney form. Now, you know, power of attorney means you give somebody the right to act on your behalf. And power of attorneys can be limited. Sometimes it can be power of attorney just over my health issues, power of attorney over my finances, power of attorney over my life. You know? And usually these things are there. Say, for instance, your parents get sick and they get to the point where they can no longer function, like this lady. They don't know Monday from Wednesday from Friday. They don't know the name of the facility they're in. They forget which part their address is. They're starting to forget faces and stuff, which means they're no longer capable of signing documents, pertinent documents, and taking care of certain legal issues. They would give power of attorney to somebody, say their son. Now, when they give power of attorney to their son would act in their behalf and handle their affairs in the best interest of the parents. That's what the power of attorney is, right? So you can't just take up a power of attorney document and sign it and say, this person gave me power of attorney over their life. You can't do it. It's illegal. However, the person she got to do the paperwork to take away this lady's car told the investigators that, hey, there was no notary there. When the man was provided duplicate copies of the now completed form at the DMV, he claims that someone else wrote by POA next to his signature, as well as his phone number. So he put his signature and his phone number, and somebody put by POA, and he's saying, I put my signature and my phone number on the paper, but I didn't put POA. POA is power of attorney, right? So he's caught up in this too. Police said that the title was transferred on May 4th to a man living in Bellevue. The vehicle was given a new license plate, and the victim is no longer registered as the owner of her Subaru. So in other words, she was successful in taking away this terminally ill patient's car. Almost succeeded in taking away the house. She got that $225,000 house down to $55,000, and she still couldn't come up with the money to thief the house, else she would have had the house. But she was successful at taking the car. Again, this is according to the affidavit. A letter that was mailed to her by the victim's attorney demanded that the car be returned immediately, but the message was never acknowledged. The car was last seen June 1st of 2022 within the city limits of Palm Bay, Florida, according to the affidavit. Duncan faces felony charges of grand theft of a motor vehicle and exploitation of an elderly or disabled adult exceeding $50,000. And I don't know what kind of prison time or jail time or punishment, but people here are very appalled. You know, they're calling this elderly abuse. They're saying it's shameful. It's appalling. She needs to get the maximum penalty time. I hope she gets a lot of time in prison. That's what the people let me say. Hear what I'm saying? Again, if this is a Jamaican, which I think she is, and I know someone from this area is going to link me and say, yes, SouFlo, she is. That's why I sent you this article. Right? But I'm speaking as if I'm not sure. On the behave on yourself when you're there foreigner, man. Can't make it harder for the rest of we, you know. When we have to go into these medical facilities, as soon as we open our mouth and say Jamaican, you hear, oh, another one. Jono. Leave your comments in the comment section below and I'll catch you on the next video. It's SouFLoTV. I'm out. And remember, work hard for it. If you didn't, you're going to have to be looking over your shoulders. Peace.